ladies and gentlemen. We're here in the 10th episode of the Vivek's Raj podcast, brought to you by absolutely nothing. And we are here, right now. You know what I'm saying? Right here, right now. This is the 10th episode of the Vivek's Raj podcast, and it's a good achievement. It's a great achievement for me to be here. I want to say it's been a long journey, and it has. I started my first episode 9 months ago during the World Cup, and I took my interest of football or sports to this podcasting world. It's been quite an adventure. It's been quite something. The preparation, the amount of thinking that needs to be done, and I think I have not been able to do that properly because it's my side project, just a side, passion project from Zen. But we're here, 10th episode, and the last 3 episodes, I feel I did well, over 100 views. For me, that's pretty good. I want to keep this momentum going, over 100 views. Let's see. As I was saying, I'm returning back to a solo podcast. Solo podcast, single example, single cast, I don't know. And I'm gonna rant. Rant is probably, I don't know, rant, okay? Just talk about the Nepalese National Women's team, of course. I said, this is something that I thought of talking about 10 days ago. When Nepal played the SAFF Women's Championship. And this I was really inspired with the team. Taken aback. And I thought I should speak something about it, but then I had to do a little bit of research. And I don't know if the research has been enough or not, but still, here I am. Right here, right now. So, I feel the national team, the Nepalese National Women's team did very well. It was fantastic. I was a fan of the way they played in the SAFF Women's Championship. By the way, this tournament was held about 2 weeks ago. If you were not paying attention, if you were playing PUBG, if you were playing something else, and we hosted the tournament in Nepal. It's the South Asian Football Federation Women's Championship. All the countries from South Asia take part in it. But as I mentioned in my previous video in episode 7 of the SAFF Championship, that Afghanistan is not part of SAFF right now. They moved to a different area, a different region, and Pakistan pulled out due to some political reasons that I was not able to find out. If you are able to find out, please comment in the comment sections below. And this we were the hosts, and it was the first time I think Nepal was hosting वुमेन्स च्याम्पियनसिप. त्यो पनि आउटसाइड काठमाडौँ होइन. अब हामीले जहिले पनि जे गरे पनि काठमाडौँमै गर्छौँ है. जो फ्रेन्डली आए पनि रङ्गशाला, यो गयो भने रङ्गशाला, वो प्यालेस्टाइन आयो भने रङ्गशाला, चाइनिज ताइपे आयो भने रङ्गशाला, फिलिपिन्स आयो रङ्गशाला. अनि त्यसपछि इन द पास्ट कपाल इयर्स अझै अब हल्चोक, कहिले जाऊ सातो बाटो, यता हल्चोक सातो बाटो. बट ना विराटनगर, वाह, न्यू डेस्टिनेसन, लट अफ हिट. एभरेज जहिले पनि कमेन्टेटरले भन्दाखेरि हाम्रो तापक्रम 32 डिग्री रहेको छ, 33 डिग्री रहेको छ. एन्ड वुमेन प्लेइङ इन द्याट टेम्परेचर, it must be hot. It was pretty hot when you saw it, but the amount of dehydration, the amount of sweat, the amount of perspiration that the body, perspiration, I think it was tough to play in that weather. And considering our team went to the final, which is another story in itself, makes me proud to be supporting Nepal. So this also comes at a time where Nepal is going to be playing the women's Olympic qualifier from Asia. They're going to be playing against Myanmar tomorrow at 5:15 p.m. If you are a fan of Nepalese women's football team, and they are pitted alongside Myanmar, India, and Indonesia. And this tournament, the qualifiers will start from tomorrow and will end on Tuesday when we play against Indonesia. So we hope we do well. We qualify from this round and make it to the Olympics. I think after this second round, we'll have another round, but more on that later. Earlier, I wanted to give a little bit of brief history about the Nepalese National Women's team. Our Nepalese football team, men, always the men's, and the men are always hyped. We always hype the football when we take a men. And Nepal is too successful men's team as compared to the women's in terms of results, but also is that the participation of the Nepali National Women's Football Team always participate in the same tournaments, whereas the men have more tournaments. I feel अब यो बङ्गबन्धु गोल्ड कप भनेको छ हैन, त्यसपछि AFC Solidarity Cup भनेको छ. Then we have the World Cup qualifiers, and then we go to India to play some new tournament. Meanwhile, the women's त्यो कहिले हुन्छ World Cup qualifier, SAFF Women's Championship, त्यसपछि Olympic qualifier हुन्छ. And I might be wrong in this because the women do play the World Cup qualifiers, AFC Women's Asian Cup qualifiers, the SAFF Women's Championship, Olympic Games, Asian Games, Asian Games, and other tournaments as well. The अस्ति भर्खर 2019 Women's Gold Cup खेल्यो. But the men, I think, are more involved, probably due to the media coverage when they arrive. But the women's team are also known as the Nepali Chelis, which means Nepalese sisters according to Wikipedia, where I can only find a proper description of the Nepalese National Women's team. Otherwise, I have to go to various websites, I have to go to various newspaper articles, I have to go to various sports sites to collect information, and it will take a lot of time. And by the time I'm done doing that, it will already be next month, and this news probably would have been dead. Although some people would consider it dead by right now, but I do not. It's been only 10 days, and the women's team, it's managed by Hari Khatka, who's the coach, famous player back in the day, way back in the day. And then we are currently ranked 103 in FIFA ranking, according to 29th March 2019. And just laying out the basic stuff, our biggest win was 13-0 against Afghanistan in 14 December 2010, and our biggest defeat is 14-0 against Japan in 1989, and then 14-0 against Japan again in 12th November 1999. So that's a little bit of history. And now we participated in the 2019 SAFF Women's Championship held in Biratnagar, as I've already told you, and we went all the way to the finals. As we always do, we go to the finals. But the performances in this final was a little bit different than the other finals. The way we played, the way the girls cooped up with the temperature, and the performances was unbelievable. The inspiring performances to Espaligo, starting from the first, starting before the tournament, when we played in the Heroes Women's Gold Cup, which acted like a warm-up tournament, but for India it was a warm-up tournament not for the SAFF Women's Championship, but for the AFC 2020 Olympic qualification, which we are alongside them in the same group. Olympic qualifier को लागि warm up, हाम्रो लागि SAFF Women's Championship को लागि warm up, and India को लागि त त्यो Hero Women's Gold Cup पनि warm up, SAFF पनि warm up. So there's the priorities, and then it was amazing from the first game against Bhutan. Bhutanसँग त जित्नै पर्ने गेम हो जहिले पनि नेपालको लागि, whether it's the men's and the women's. But the way we played, the girls showed real fearlessness. When they had the ball, your touch lineदेखि लिएर the way they went past their women, man भन्छ फुटबलमा त, when they dribbled past them, the way they were able to put 3 or 4 passes together to build a move. And त्यसपछि the energy within that women's team, within the team, to go forward, to run after the ball, to press, and they were also tactically really good. I mean, again, the first 3 games they pressed really well, putting pressure on the opponents to win the ball back, getting the ball back, creating chances, being creative. It's the first time. I don't watch women's football that much, but I was really first impression. So I'm a big fan, and I'd like to mention a couple of names, by the way. Her first name was, of course, Savitra Bhandari. Beast. Savitra Bhandari is a beast. According to Wikipedia, 22-year-old, and 27 appearances, 26 goals. Although that could have been increased. Oh, it's 27 appearances, 26 goals. So nearly 1 goal a game ratio, Savitra Bhandari ko. And she finished as the top scorer of the women's team, top scorer of the tournament for this tournament, and it was really good. She very striker ko jun hera fitness striker they Savitra lai chai haina. She's got the hairstyle, she's got the color gareko cha, and she's got that mohawk style. She's got that mohawk, and the way she plays, very I like to say one-dimensional, but a very good one-dimensional player. Maybe I'm using the word wrong, but whenever she gets the ball, she runs forward and she wants to create chances, and she also links up pretty well. She's pretty selfish, but you can expect that from a striker. A striker needs to be selfish. She wants to create a space for to shoot, and she's got pretty good dribbling as well. She can dribble the ball. She can go lost. She can go lost sometimes in a game. You don't see her much, just like in the final, which I'll discuss later on. But very good player. She uses her physical ability really well. She also known as Samba. Commentator oh Samba. Savitra Bhandari. Commentatorले नाम pronounce गर्दा पनि Samba. हुन्छ नि एक तरिकाले त ठीक हो तर एक तरिकाले भाइस पनि देखिन्छ कि जस्तो लाग्छ हैन. A very good player. Another one is of course the captain Niru Thapa, veteran of the sport. Although she was substituted always at 60 minutes, the stamina concern, I don't know, Hari Khadka, but really good leader to have in the team. Also scored a couple of goals as well. Anita Pasnet, another fan, a little bit taller, played down the wings in the tournament, and this was a really skillful player. She, the semi-final game, she beat the same player twice. She went past her, and then the defender came back to defend, and then she again went past her. The skill ko naam se kyo tha hain, but she did really well. Very skillful player, always looking to take on opponents, looking to beat opponents, very creative as well. And Renuka Nagarkoti, the center midfielder, was also very good. The way she in that midfield, you need to go up and down, and the stamina for that. She created chances as well. Another one is to go to the defense, Geeta Rana. She looked like the Van Dijk to me, although she did make mistakes in the final game, but she played really well. For a girl to have that much height in the correct position, right physique for the correct position. The center back, you need a little bit of height, a little bit of lankiness, and she had that, and she played really well. Controlled the back line alongside, I think it was Poonam Jharga Magar. Both of them had really good physiques for a center back. And then of course the two fullbacks, Manamaya Limbu. Manamaya Limbu चाहिँ अब मैले जिस्काउन खोजे भने त टिपिकल नेपाली केटी देख्ने के हुन्छ नि, डल्ली हैन, गालो पनि पक्क फुलेको, त्यसपछि त्यो कपाल पनि लामो, अनि कुद्दा पनि कसरी कुद्ने, but she played really well. She was really good, very good sound defensively, and she could play with the ball. She tried to play with the ball as well. And Hira Kumari Bujal, I think among the defense she stands out for me because of her energy, going up and down the field, contributing to attacks, also being very good in interceptions. Final, I think she played really well, although the commentator was a little bit biased, but she played really well. She intercepted a lot of dangerous balls that India could have taken advantage of. And playing down the fullback, she also got forward with assists as well. She also got a goal, by the way, for the women's team. And a mention to Rekha Paudel, a 17-year-old. I think another skillful player coming to the ranks. She was part of the under 15 or under 16 team when Nepal reached the finals. This was during the Bhukampako Bela. Very skillful player, and she's coming to the ranks. I think she also scored a goal in the semi-final. So these are a couple of names. The fan right? And I hope we get to see them a lot play, because these are really bunch of talented young women that are making their name, that I hope that I've done nothing but to praise them and to put them in a certain group, in a certain then we took, so coming back to the SAFF, before SAFF we took part in the Hero Women's Gold Cup. This was I already told you, a warm-up tournament. SAFF ko lai hamro lai, and India invited us to take part in it, and this was held in Bhubaneswar, the city of Bhubaneswar in Odisha state of India. It was held from 9 February to 15 February, and I think it went a little bit unnoticed. We reached the final. We beat India. India is we always lose to India. Critical situation, but we beat India. So take that, haters. We beat them 2-1 at their home ground. We scored 2 goals within 10 minutes. Although I saw the highlights of the game, and we were pretty lucky in that game. But you need luck sometimes, and that luck wasn't there when we went to the finals of this SAFF championship, Miss India, and lost. But we did beat them, so we did break that voodoo. And we reached the finals and against lost. And I think it's the course final बित्तिकै हारे नेपालीको केटीको टिम के एउटा पहिला बेन्फिका भन्ने क्लब थियो पोर्चुगलमा, and they had a coach, I don't know what was his name, and I think they won a couple of European Cups during his time, but the Benfica board sacked him, and then he cursed the club that they'll never win a European title again. And after that guy said that they had never won a European Cup. And they reached the finals, but they never win it. So maybe त्यस्तो कष्ट हुन्छ नि, फाइनल पुग्ने बित्तिकै हार्ने, कसले अब यो सरापेको थाहा छैन हैन, तर I hope we break that. And then coming back to this tournament, the Hero Women's Gold Cup, Savita Bhandari again finishing the tournament as joint top scorer with 4 goals. And I think it was a pretty good experience for Nepal. We lost 2 games. We lost to Myanmar in the first group game, but we won 2 in a row. We beat Iran, and Iran are ranked 60th in the world. We were ranked at that time 108th in the world. We were the lowest ranked team in that tournament. And then coming back, we lost the finals to Myanmar, but I think we should take that as a positive. And I think it didn't get enough mention in the Nepalese media, because the Nepalese media, I don't know, त्यो स्पोर्टमा अलिकति त्यस्तो राख्दैन. हामी स्पोर्टिङ कन्ट्री हो कि हैन, I still don't know. I think cricket gets a lot of mention. Football, I think people may get tired of it, but I think it's the job of the stakeholders involved in the game as well as the media just to shed a light on what we've done. But also the history plays a part in it. Whenever you reach finals so many times and lose, people always expect you to reach the final, and whenever you lose it, they always say, यो जहिले हारेको जहिले हार्छ, के हेर्ने, त्यस्तो खालको एटिट्युड, which I'm against. I'm त्यो त्यस्तो पेसिमिस्ट चाहिँ नहुँ हैन. फाइनल पुगेको केटीको टिमले ठुलो प्रगति गरेको छ in a country where I think the empowerment of women is really important. And although I'm not a believer भन्दा पनि a big proponent of most of the stuff feminism says about women being women are equality ko कुरा अर्कै हो हैन. But in terms of sport, I think the results that women have shown are all based on merit and should be congratulated and rewarded, as well as praised in the society, for us to see that women can do this and they are doing it better than men. That's all I'm saying, right? All this thing about feminism and all that stuff we'll discuss later in the later podcast, because it's an interesting topic to debate on. And coming back, our Women's World Cup Sakyo, we reached the final, we lost. It was a very good experience. This is very good for Nepalese women in football right now. Final pugera hanu, and the experience that they have, maybe final pugera hareko, they thought they should have won it, because halftime somehow 1-1 थियो. It was very competitive, but second half we considered 2 goals and 3-1 haryo. And maybe that त्यो पनि अलिकति पार्ट खेल्छ, किनभने you work so hard to reach the final, you defeat India, you defeat Iran, and then the momentum you got in the final, and you push Myanmar 1-1 till half time, and Myanmar are ranked somewhere around 60 to 70th in FIFA ranking. But then you concede 2 goals in the second half. I think the expectation that you had to win it, it takes a toll, but still the experience is very good. And now you're coming back to the SAFF Women's Championship, which you are hosting and which you've got expectations. People are there to see you, and you do that. So in the first game, you beat Bhutan 3-0, demolished completely. Overall annihilation. Complete domination. Bisara Bhutanese team ko ta maya लागेको थियो भक्खरका फुचीहरु है. I think they were not even 5 foot. I'm not bashing them, but it was pretty funny. It's pretty funny to see when they it was because Nepal dominated that game. We scored 3. Manjali, Savitra and Niru Thapa scored the 3 goals. We completely played really well, and the opponent was a little bit unmatched, but I think we needed that win. First game is always important, and then you need to start with cannot lose. A home ground, you are expected to win. Then we played Bangladesh, and I think it was a little bit step up from Bhutan, but Nepal showed their class. In the first half was complete annihilation, 3-0 within the first half. And in the second half we slowed down because of the intensity, maybe of the heat, and Hari Khadkale पनि भन्नुभएको थियो second half मा चाहिँ हामी अलिकति conservative भएर खेलेको because of the energy, because you're playing in that heat. The amount of running that you have to do, the amount of mental stress, physical stress that you have to cope up with, it's very hard. I mean, normal layman less to खेल्ने त हो नि भन्दा, but whenever you play there, even if you take a sprint and you breathe, you feel your heart go tuk 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 हुन्छ के, and the amount of time for you to recover from that tuk 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 tuk, it's a quite challenging thing. And then we qualified, we beat 2 opponents, we qualified to the semi-finals. And from the other group, India were making waves as well. They thrashed Maldives 6-0. and then they thrashed Sri Lanka 5-0. 2 games 11 goals. Hamro bhane 2 games 6 goals. Non-considered for Nepal. Then we played Sri Lanka in the semi-finals, and Hampani kick on, Hampani goal on. We scored 4, but it took us 42 minutes to score the first goal because Sri Lanka were really, and level went up a little bit because they were playing really defensive as well. They were playing on the counter attack. They had a good center forward. She was a star player. They got a ball to her a couple of times, created some half chances, but when we scored that first goal, I think it settled Nepal down. In the second half, after the 70th minute, I think we showed class. Anita Bosnet scored, and Sabitra Bhandari scored again, and then my woman, Rekha Powder scored, 86th minute. So we are on to the finals, and then India, of course, 4-0, and India the goal the hand as well. So they've until now they scored 15 goals so far. Nepal scored 10 goals and conceded none. Both have not even conceded a single goal in the tournament, and the moment has arrived. Final पुग्यो हामी. Sahit Rangasala 10,000 jana packed. घाम 2-3 बजेको घाममा. I came early from college, from campus to watch this game because I've been AP1 did a fantastic job covering the whole tournament. Though the commentary could have been better. I mean, your news भन्ने मान्छेले commentary किन लिएर आएको यार. प्लेयर को नाम अलिकति भन्छ नि डिस्क्रिप्टिभ अलिकति डिस्क्रिप्सन दिनु पर्यो, हिस्ट्री भन्नु पर्यो, विराटनगरको कस्तो छ हिस्ट्री भन्नु पर्यो. अल द सेम हुन्छ नि, सेम रिपिटेटिभ प्याटर्न. अब त्यहाँ गोल किकलाई सुट भन्दै छ, क्रसलाई सर्ट भन्दै छ, पासलाई सर्ट भन्दै छ, त्यस्तो त्यस्तो हुन्छ नि, थ्रोइनलाई कर्नर भन्दै छ. सानो सानो कुरा डिटेल्स. सो डिटेल्समा चाहिँ अलिकति पुगेन जस्तो लाग्थ्यो. बट स्टिल हुन्छ नि, अब time goes on as we are moving into this TV have started bringing in franchises, different shows. I think sports will get a look in as well, and I think covering a women's tournament, I think it was the first time the whole tournament was covered, and it was pretty good. It's very good for the media as well, very good for the media, very good for us viewers. And so India's game was a big game here, final. We've lost to them 4 times in the past, and always losing to India. India have been from 2010 to 2019. How many SAFF Women's Championship there has been? India has won everything. Also, कुनै देशले जितेन खाली इन्डियाले मात्रै जितेछ है. So we are playing India now. This game सुरु भयो, and it gets competitive है. त्यो गेम हेर्दाखेरि रमाइलो कि कस्तो. It's like watching a little bit of chess match हुन्छ नि. If your football game मा चाहिँ if you're able to predict a pattern, then you have figured it out, okay? But it's so hard to predict a pattern. And you must know where the ball is coming, where the defender will go to you, key defender back. If you are dribbling, will the defender come at you charging, or will the defender back off? This is a and it was really competitive first time. And we were trying to press India, and India was struggling a little bit first time. They were playing very defensive, and we were trying to win the ball. All the 50-50s, 50-50 and we were coming into challenge गरेर छ, tackle गरेर छ हैन midfield, and we were getting the fair share हुन्छ नि. अब त के गर्ला भन्दै राम्रो भयो त. We had a couple of chances as well, and the crowd was also warming up a little bit, and then suddenly India ले free kick पायो. यो को थियो एउटा केटी, यसको नाम डालीमा चिप्पर खतरा हान्यो. यसले चाहिँ कस्तो त्यसको स्टाइलै फरक, कस्तो क्वाक हाने जस्तो हैन, तर सी चिप द बल, त क्वाक चिप हाने जस्तो सी चिप द बल. अनि हाम्रो किपरको हाइट फेरि उस्तै 4 फुट 4 हैन. अगाडि आए किपर त्यो रोनाल्डिनियोले इङ्ल्यान्डलाई 2002 वर्ल्ड कपमा गोल हानेको थियो नि, त्यत्रो 40-50 यार्डबाट. डेभिड सिमन त्यो किपर अगाडि आयो, एन्ड डेभिड सिमन पछाडि जाँदा यस्तो जम्प हान्यो भ्याएन. एन्ड डेभिड सिमन सेड द वर्स्ट थिङ फर अ गोलकिपर इज टु हियर द साउन्ड अफ द नेट्स. द बल जब नेटमा जान्छ नि, त्यो लोनली फिलिङ फर अ गोलकिपर हुन्छ नि. मेबी हाम्रो किपर पनि त्यही फिल गर्यो होला. सी इज प्रिटी गुड किपर, प्लेज गुड विथ हर फिट एज वेल हुन्छ नि. सी द एबिलिटी टु पास हुन्छ नि. अलिक गोलकिपर मोडर्न गोलकिपरहरू आइरहेका छन्. एन्ड देन चिप द बल हुन्छ नि, त्यो चिप हानेको कस्तो चिप, भेरी गुड टेक्निक है. टेक्निक, इट वाज भेरी गुड टेक्निक. एन्ड द बल वेन्ट ओभर हर हेड इन्टु द बटम, त्यो टपको त्यो इन द लेफ्ट साइड अफ द नेट. इट वेन्ट ओभर हर. टिपिकल नेपाली हुन्छ नि, हाइट बामपुड के. अब गोल त्यो हाइट आधी पनि भ्याउँदैन, त्यो हातले जम्प गर्नुपर्छ त्यो माथिको पोस्ट भ्याउनलाई होइन. के गर्ने, जेनेटिक्स यस्तै हो हाम्रो है. सो वी वर डाउन 1-0, भेरी गुड गोल है टु बी फेयर. अनि जहिले त्यस्तो हुन्छ कि जहिले राम्रो खेल्दा हुन्छ टकको गोल खाइदिन्छ, द होप अल डाउन भयो. बट डु नट फियर बिकज साबित्रा इज हियर. 7 minutes later, confusion in the Indian penalty area. I think cross हो कि ब्याक पास आएको थियो. आई थिङ्क क्रस आएको थियो लेफ्ट ह्यान्ड साइडबाट. अनि त्यसपछि किपर पनि आयो डिफेन्डर पनि आयो बोथ अफ देम मिस्ड इट अनि साविता जस्ट रोज अबभ एन्ड हेड द बल इन्टु द एम्प्टी नेट 1-1 नेपाली गन वाइल्ड त्यसपछि त घरमा नेपाल पुरै गोल हानेपछि साविता डज द्याट क्रिस्टियानो रोनाल्डो सेलिब्रेसन है हुसी गर्छ नि त्यो पनि कस्तो अनि त्यसपछि सञ्जीव सिलको बाद पुरै उहाँको फेभरेट प्लेयर क्रिस्टियानो रोनाल्डो हो भनेर 10 चोटि भनिसक्यो त्यहाँ अनि त्यही अनि अर्को प्लेयरले त्यहाँ आई डोन्ट नो हु वाज इट कसले अनिता बस्नेत हो कि कसले चाहिँ डिबालाको गरेको थियो अनि त्यसपछि कमेन्टेटरले कहाँ थाहा पाउलो डिबाला रोनाल्डो मात्र थाहा छ होइन डिबालाको 2-3 चोटि गरेको थियो आई नोटिस द्याट रोनाल्डोको भने डिबाला त को होइन त्यसपछि 1-1 भयो भने त्यसपछि तात्तियो अब चाहिँ के हुन्छ भन्ने जस्तो लाग्थ्यो मलाई अनि त्यसपछि गेम तात्यो अनि त्यसपछि आई वाज वाचिङ विथ माई फ्यामिली सबैजना हेर्न आएको थिएँ हामी त पुरै वुमेन इम्पावरमेन्ट यस्तो भनेर होइन जित्छ फाइनली भन्यो फर्स्ट हाफ राम्रो आयो त्यसपछि नेपालले राम्रो गर्यो फर्स्ट हाफमा भेरी कम्पिटेटिभ यस्तो कम्पिटेटिभनेस हुन्छ नि इट वाज भेरी इन्करेजिङ टु सी होइन यस्तो खेल्यो भने त नेपाल त ल मुला के हो यो त साफ जितेपछि त एएफसीमा जानुपर्ने वुमेन्स होइन एएफसी कपमा जाला क्वालिफाई भयो भने ठुलो कुरा होइन मान्छे नाम बन्छ यहाँ के छ मलाई पनि पछि कमेन्टेटर बनाउँछ त्यस्तोसम्म सोचिसकेको थिएँ मैले देन वी गेट टु द सेकेन्ड हाफ एभ्रिथिङ इज जस्ट रिभर्स होइन वी आर नट विनिङ द बल वी आर बिङ भेरी लेथार्जिक कस्तो सुस्त तरिकाको होइन त्यो फर्स्ट हाफमा जुन पास हाम्रो खुट्टामा आएको थियो सेकेन्ड हाफमा त हत्तपत्तो छैन इन्डिया फर्स्ट 5 मिनटमा यस्तो प्रेसर हाल्दियो कि आई थिङ्क इट हेज अ नेगेटिभ इम्प्याक्ट अन नेपाल एन्ड देन अल्सो आई थिङ्क यो एउटा कुरा भएको थियो कि एउटा वर्ल्ड कपमा वेन बेल्जियम रिच द सेमी फाइनल्स दे वन द थर्ड प्लेस पनि जितेको थियो वेन बेल्जियम प्लेड ब्राजिल दे प्लेड द पर्फेक्ट गेम भनेर भनेको थियो कि दे वर पर्फेक्ट अल ओभर द पिच दे रियली पर्फेक्ट दे प्लेड द पर्फेक्ट गेम बट दे प्लेड द पर्फेक्ट गेम इन द क्वार्टर फाइनल and when they had to play against France because they had already played their perfect game they could not play it and they could not play that same type of games and that's why France won भनेर analysis दिएको थियो एउटा पत्रिकाले कि it was a Guardian or BBC हो के भनेको थियो I think we did that as well it happened to us it didn't happen to India it happened to us because all the games were really good हुन्छ नि त्यो कम्पिटिसन बिस्तारै बढेको थियो बट त्यो इन्डियासँग वात्तै बढ्यो इन्डियाको लागि त के कम्पिटिसन आई थिङ्क दे वर कम्पिटेटिभ फर्स्ट हाफमा बट when you play 3 games and you score 10 goals without considering the level of confidence in you is always up होइन but is it hard to maintain that confidence okay your player psychology is very interesting what happened in that second half के भयो हुन्छ नि was it one moment where इन्डियाले पुरै प्रेस गर्यो and Nepalese team took them by shock was it के भयो so because second हाफमा त हामीले 80 मिनटसम्म एउटा नि सट हानेको थिएन कि अल इन्डिया पुरै इन्डिया पेल्याछ है पेल्याछ चान्स पाएको छ धन्न कि किपरले रोकेको छ कि बाहिर हानेको छ धन्न होइन त्यसपछि इन्डियाले चान्स मिस गर्ने बित्तिकै हामी त ओए मिस गर्यो ठिक्क पऱ्यो भन्छौँ तर भित्र थाहा छ ओ गोल हान्ला भनेर त्यसपछि दे स्कोर्ड फाइनली 63 मिनट्समा इट वाज ड्यानी ग्रेस scored the goal and after 3 minutes another goal went in all mistakes the goal was Anju Tamang because why is she playing in India banla but I think she was born although it says that she was born in West Bengal so good on her and then त्यसपछि त all the 3 goals that India scored were mistakes first channel cheaper ko free kick mistake second was a defensive fumble up I think Manu Maya garung ho ki kasko and third was the heading clearance jasto khalko all 3 goals were was mistakes that could have been prevented but it happens in football and त्यसपछि 80 minutes पछि नेपालले एउटा दुईटा चान्स पायो तर कहाँ सक्ने हैन then we lost typical ending to another final where we lose to India it was sad to see that because first this game of यो tournament यो game finals it was the game of 2 halves भन्छ नि एक हाफ एउटा टिमले कन्ट्रोल गर्यो अर्को टिमले कन्ट्रोल गर्यो तर यहाँ के भयो भने सेकेन्ड हाफमा जुन टिमले कन्ट्रोल गर्यो त्यसले मौकामा चौका हान्यो गेम जित्यो एन्ड इट वाज स्याड फर मी आई थिङ्क आई फेल्ट अ लिटिल बिट स्याड बिकज मैले चाहिँ यस्तो वुमेनको टुर्नामेन्ट नेपाल स्पेसली नेपालको फर्स्ट टाइम यसरी हेरेको होइन एन्ड म चाहिँ आई वाज रियली इन्सपायर्ड बाई द टिम द वे दे प्लेड द फियरलेसनेस हुन्छ नि फुटबल खेल्न केटीहरूकोमा द वे दे प्लेड वाज अ मेच्योर वे अफ प्लेइङ हुन्छ नि I didn't expect that to see from them, which blew me, but I was really happy. And I think now यस्तो अपर्च्युनिटी दियो होइन विराटनगरमा हाम्रो क्राउडको अगाडि अफकोर्स हार्यो भनेर त त्यो गरिहाल्छ होइन फाइनल पुग्यो हारिहाल्यो तर फाइनल पुगेको पनि यु सुड टेक अ लिटल बिट प्राइड इन द्याट एन्ड एभरेज अटेन्डेन्स पनि राम्रो छ फाइनलमा इट वाज रिपोर्टेड टु बी 10,000 होइन नेपालको गेम श्रीलङ्कासँग सेमी फाइनलमा 4,000 फर्स्ट गेममा नियरली 3,000 त्यसपछि बङ्गलादेशसँग नियरली 5,000 सो प्रिटी गुड पिपल देयर टु सी जुन फ्राइडे त्यो पनि स्याटरडे सन्डेको गेम थिएन सो नाउ वाट्स नेक्स्ट नाउ अब यो यसलाई अर्को कुरा चाहिँ यसलाई मिडियाले कसरी कभर गर्यो आई थिङ्क वी डिडन्ट गेट इनफ कभरेज इन द मिडिया वेदर इट बी प्रिन्ट पेपर अब युट्युबमा त आई डोन्ट नो हाउ मेनी नेपाली स्पोर्ट्स युट्युबर्स आर देयर but there are some channels which post highlights only on that stuff since the top 10 graded goals Nepali football there are some channels which I don't know I don't know if there are any Nepali sports channels which does a podcast like I'm doing and I'm not hyping myself up but I feel like they should be given credit where credit is due to reach 4 finals in a row I think people should realize it is hard to reach a final and expectations and Nepal always reaching the final they always do that but why are we not winning these tournaments there has to be something ke ta garnu parecha ke there needs to be something done I mean the stakeholders in this game needs to realize it किनकि यत्रो चार हरेक चोटी साफ भएको छ जहिले फाइनल पुगेछ 4 out of 5 times we reached the finals and this final was probably better than the other finals because पहिलाको फाइनलमा त we got thrashed once यहाँ 2000 कहिले 2010 मा रनर्स अप 2012 मा रनर्स अप 2014 मा रनर्स अप 16 मा we lost in the semi finals and 19 मा फेरि रनर्स अप so it is a little bit harsh that we always criticize for them for not winning the final but also criticism is also fair किनकि यो 4 चोटी फाइनल पुग्यो 4 चोटी हारेको त इज रियली हुन्छ नि अलिकति कि त रङ छ कि सो but I think we need to figure out what's the problem हुन्छ नि is there a lack of match practice we don't have a league what is it के हो do we need to improve on something we need to give them proper के हुन्छ diet nutrition psychology हुन्छ नि त्यस्तो के छ need to focus on that and also the media को लागि पनि मैले यहाँ राखेको छु I'll put it on the screen हुन्छ नि त्यहाँ the different reactions by different newspapers I think it's the media को पनि त्यही हुन्छ कि similar टुर्नामेन्ट आउँछ फ्रन्ट पेजमा एउटा फोटो राख्छ त्यसपछि पछाडि स्पोर्ट्स पेजमा जानुहोस् यसो लेख्दै आउँछ केही अनि त्यसपछि कोचको एउटा दुईवटा लाइन प्लेयरको एउटा दुईवटा लाइन हेडलाइन राखेको हुन्छ इट्स बिकम अ लिटल बिट जहिले पनि त्यही भइरहेको के अनि अब फाइनल पुग्यो खै एडिटोरियल के लेख्नु कसैले ओपेडमा लेख्नु यसो गरेको छ एउटा इन्सपिरेसन हुन्छ नि आई वान्ट टु से दिस इज वाइ आइ एम डुइङ दिस पडकास्ट यो चाहिँ किन गरेको भने आई थिङ्क someone somewhere in Nepal could get inspired by this हुन्छ नि यत्रो फाइनल पुगेको यत्रो केटीहरूको आई थिङ्क यु सुड टेक एडभान्टेज अफ द्याट मिनिस्ट्री अफ युथ एन्ड स्पोर्ट्स के हेरेर उहाँ परेर होइन अस्ति नेपाल इन्भेस्टमेन्ट समिटमा मैले वेबसाइट गरेर हेरेँ आई डिडन्ट फाइन्ड वान सिङ्गल प्रोजेक्ट रिगार्डिङ स्पोर्ट्स थियो होला इफ यु इट वाज देयर गुड बट आई डिडन्ट सी एनिथिङ खालि हाइड्रो पावर र त्यो हाइड्रो पावर रेलवे रनवे अब त्यो फिजिकल इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर कुनै हाम्रो त्यो फेस छ but at least try to improve some amount of sport. Sport is an international thing, you know. The Dana White level, you don't need to be a certain color. You need to be president of the UFC Ultimate Fighting Championship MMA and the president. Everybody understands fighting. Whether you are black, brown, white, you are from Asia, Africa, everybody understands fighting. I think everything understands sport. Whether different types of sport, but everyone understands sport. And it's an international thing and if it's an international thing you can attract that international audience now there are different ways for you to do that you know? And that's up to you but all I'm saying is we have a lot of potential it's a country of beautiful potential to harness that potential is a tough thing and जुन यो फाइनल पुगेको थियो it could have inspired some girl living in rural Nepal हुन्छ कहीँ के सुन्यो होला टिभीमा देख्यो होला ओ फुटबल पनि हुन्छ भनेर हैन देयर वाज सम डकुमेन्ट्री कति आई थिंक इयर्स ब्याक when so I think a foreign club picked some girls from a rural community where they had a football club and took them to take part in tournament or took them to train. It was beautiful to see. खै त्यसको कहाँ पुग्यो त्यो के छ हुन्छ नि and also we should have a women's league एउटा women's league पनि हुनुपर्छ के रेगुलर women's league अब अटेन्डेन्स मतलब हैन त्यो फर्स्ट गेममै 10,000 जना मान्छे आउनेवाला छैन इट्स सिम्पल बट आई थिंक कन्स्टेन्ट लस भए पनि गरिरह इट विल क्रिएट रेभेन्यू इट विल ह्यापन छ नि you should always have you पनि अब 2 हप्ताको लिग हैन it used to be elongated so that players have match practice is essential, especially the match practice is really essential because it keeps your mind sharp. You're sharp. It applies to everything, even writing, reading, doing about college assignments or reading a book. If you don't write for a couple of weeks, the next time you don't write for a couple of weeks. If you've been writing for a long time and you take a break, and if you write, it's hard to start. You're always rubbing, you're always to so that's the thing. And I think this could be used as an inspiration. To India ko euta cricket ad cha, the World Cup agadi ko cricket ad कस्तो दामी बनाछ त्यो पुच्ची like bat दिन्छ the bowler bat गरेर त्यो तास्छ and she always gets teased while playing cricket and later on she turns out to be the Indian sport कस्तो दामी बनाछ now अब इन्डिया र नेपालको कम्पेरिजनमा मान्छेले कमेन्ट गरिहाल्छ हुन्छ नि त्यो but you should learn त्यस्तो एड बनाउनु नि अलिकति अब now फाइनल पुगेछ कुनै कुनै ब्याङ्कहरु हुन्छ यस्तो एड एम्बेसडर बनाऊ यार just give them a chance make them limelight मात्र आउनु पर्छ के पनि छैन अब now tomorrow they're playing your women's Olympic qualifiers. Even if they lose, I think they might lose tomorrow, right? They might lose tomorrow, they might win tomorrow, who knows, right? But the form they're in, there needs to be support. I'm saying there needs to be love from us, because women's sport is not as the same as men's sport, right? They don't get as much attention, but when you're winning, you should at least try to give them attention. That's all I'm saying. I think they don't give enough attention, and I think this will have an impact on. Maybe it will have an impact, or maybe it won't. But I want it to have an impact. I want the women's team to get the respect they deserve because they play really well. And त्यसपछि अर्को कुरा यो काठमाडौँ पोस्ट को एउटा थियो छ. They are celebrating their 26th anniversary, and I don't know if I am connecting it properly, but they have a thing called 26th anniversary मा चाहिँ के अरे the women's something they're talking about women leaders in the country. के थियो यिनीहरुको हेरौँ यहाँ के भनेको थियो कि यिनीहरुले it's about women हुन्छ नि and the top women figures in the country, and out of that only one is related to sport. The Meera Rai, the runner, all of them are from Kyo. So I think there's less focus on sport. I think there needs to be more focus. I'm a sport oriented guy. I'm a fan. That's why I'm doing this. I love the sport. Whether it be any sport, I think it should get the mention it deserves, and people should get interested in it. And I think it will take time. So I don't know if I'm making sense or not, but this is a view of a fan. I feel like I'm the only one interested in this. Actually, pick up the investment summit. Coming back to that investment summit, I didn't see a single sport project, but one thing that really put hope was Ram Saran Moth's speech. Ram Saran Moth, of course, he talked about the economy, all that stuff, and he talked about the economy, how investment is important, but at the end, he talked about Nepalese climate and how it's good. And climate differs from place to place. We have a very diverse climate. And he talked about a funny thing. He talked about why does Afghanistan or Pakistan, why only they play at Sharjah? Why don't they come to Nepal? It was a very good point. He talked about sport, and that man and I really respected that. About Middle East ground so there's always a possibility. Hope. I always see hope in Nepal. Why don't they come to Nepal and play? Sandeep Lamichan he took 2 wickets and he got smashed 6 the first ball, but then came back and took a wicket. Then he broke up a very important partnership to Punjab, right? So that's the mentality. And he's the most famous, and your commentator Dean Jones, he's probably the most famous sportsman from Nepal, and he's only 17. About the 17, I don't know the age heaping, but it's really it shows promise in the country. Why don't they come and play here? Sport is a big thing. You can attract people from outside. And Ramsaran Moth made a really good point about sport. Why don't they come and play here? And ground also investment. Bring the investment. Bring a ground. My plan is 7 provinces. You have a ramro ground only. I think, and we should start your national यो राष्ट्रिय खेलकुद के काम I don't understand this. त्यो 2 महिनाको लागि आएर यसो ट्रेनिङ गरेर चाहिँ खेलिदिएको छ proper. I think there needs to be privatization a little bit. अब यो दुईटा लिगको पनि कुरा आउँछ यहाँ इन्डियामा. अब I think I'm going way off topic, people might not understand, but I get really angry when I'm taught यो कुरामा यस्तो कुरामा. But all I want to say is the way women's football is right now, it's on a high for me. The high जुन heroes women gold up नजिकै पनि the performance was really good, and people might not have noticed that, but I think it needs to be mentioned. It needs to be out there. This is a thing of women empowerment. जब यस्तो केटीहरू त्यहाँ गएर खेलेर फाइनल पुग्नु, and the bond that they had, and credit to Harikar, credit to the whole team, even credit to ANFA. हुन्छ नि. And talking about ANFA recently made a deal with IC Nepal and Mercy Corps. They are, I think, technological company, and they're going to work on building a database. But working on a database, keeping tabs on the player, I don't know, appearances, or players are registered or club, so that it becomes interesting. And technology is seen, and the cost was 1 million. And about the cost of the we don't know. The news about the cost of follow up, and I don't know. And and now are women involved in this? Are women involved? They didn't mention that. So that's another thing. And why not build something when you have something? You finally you have that. Finally, some of the they played really well. So why not try to find out why didn't they win? Why not do a little bit of analysis? I don't have time. Maybe it comes down to our values. Values, why don't we try to be the best? Why are we only settling for second place? 5 tournament, 4 tournament final. Next time, let's try to win it. And I think they did try to win this time. It showed the way they played. In the first half, they were really competitive. Second half, they went. But it's not like the previous tournaments, 6-0 khatsa, 3-0 khatsa. We put up a fight. But that shows that we have something. So let's build on this. Let's give women's football a chance. Let's give sport a chance in this country. I think it's very important. With this, I'd like to conclude this episode of the podcast. Thank you for listening. I don't know if I make much sense. If you've been listening till now, thank you very, very much. From the bottom of my heart. And this is Bidek signing off right here, right now.